How are y'all doing today? Dadman Walking 55 here with a little battlefield walk tour, folks. How are you doing? I'm going to get things a little set up as we start this. I do not know where the heck I am going, but we will see and get lost together. There's some guides there. I'm going to try this northern part here along the road, but the Battle of Browns Mill here, really nice park here with tours and stuff. Oh, look, somebody left a glove. So, folks, thank y'all for being here. I'm actually, oops, yeah, the orientation is locked. Give me 1 second, you know, multitasking and tweets and all that stuff. Of course, now I don't have the missus here, and that would be wonderful to have the missus here. This is busy doing something else, but hey, love to have company. Sit back, relax while I'm still getting this going. Let me see, we got this here so that does not fall. I'm going to multitask. I've got information here, got a lot of stuff here. So I'm going to bearings going. How are y'all doing today? It's a nice cold North Georgia morning. This is Dadman multitasking. So hopefully y'all are doing, help me tweet it out and get stuff going. Don't know how long we're going. 3 people watching. Hey, I will get to y'all. I am the one multitasking. I am producer, content creator, everything extraordinary today, all on my own, but we will see. Glad y'all are with me here today. We're gonna have fun with this one, I believe. Definitely a surprise on our trip with this one. Just trying to get one more thing here. Appreciate y'all's patience. Nothing like going live with 2 phones and hear 1 person. So had a great breakfast at the hotel. It's nice and cold out here, but today, but not nearly as cold as it's going to be from what we hear and see. So, alrighty. All right. Oh, that's cool. I actually did it. Yay, that's kind of cool. Copy. I'm putting a tweet out. I'm sure they're looking at me like, what the hell are you doing over there still? All right, there. Put that out. There's the tweet from the missus account. And let me now get back to this. All right. Woo. Go. We saved it. Woo. I'll have to bring this computer phone back up. Oh, wow, what a day. What a day. Thank you for being here, everybody. Let me turn her volume down. There you go. That works. So it can help see the chat. So, well, hit that like button. We got 4 people watching right now. Now that I've gotten all this stuff going, let me get them. I am not a great multitasker, my friends. That I am not good. All right, well, we got 4 people. Hey, welcome. Woo! I'm getting oriented with this trail myself before. Let's see. No, Battle of Browns Mill was a battle down near Atlanta, which was an important event with Sherman marching, trying to surround Atlanta. It was the site of a huge cavalry battle between Union and Southern forces. And hold on a second, I let people pass first.
I felt one.
Morning.
I was like,
so we are going to be walking on the Blue Trail. We are looking for a monument. We are at a brand new battlefield that I have never been to before. So I am multitasking with multiple cameras and all that fun stuff at one time. Let's see, because this was a battle fought in the summer of 1864. As Sherman was moving south towards the major city of Atlanta, he was trying to avoid a protracted long siege warfare. Well, sent his cavalry south of the city to try to cut off Confederate communication and rail lines, and proceeded to a battle ensued here between Confederate and Union cavalry. Well, Sherman never did not like his cavalry, and this is kind of where we're going. We are here, and we're going to try to go left down there to where there's a monument. So we're going to go for a little bit of a walk today here in the woods in North Georgia. So as it goes, that Sherman moved his cavalry, assigned his cavalry under McCook to move southwest of Atlanta to cut off the rail lines and supply and communication lines. Well, he didn't trust his cavalry, did not like his cavalry, thought they were ineffective. And up through the Civil War, especially to this point in 1864, it was widely held that a lot of the Confederate cavalry was better, more combat effective than a lot of the Union cavalry, even though they might be outgunned in many cases. Well, the results of this battle kind of prove that. And as they, and after the result of the battle, basically Sherman had to give up trying to takes the city of Atlanta head on, and ended up settling in for a siege, which is what he was trying to avoid. You see armies under Sherman moving south. Joseph E. Johnston was commander of the Army of Tennessee. Brigadier General Edward McCook was the head of the Union cavalry in this battle, along with George Stoneman. You see Joseph E. Johnston, General John Bell Hood were two Confederate commanders, because this battle took place just after Johnston was removed as commander of the Army of Tennessee and replaced with John Bell Hood. The thought being that he was too cautious, would not fight a battle, kept staying on a defensive standpoint, and replaced with John Bell Hood, who subsequently moves his army north into Tennessee and wrecks it at the Battle of Franklin. Oh. And like on all battlefields, you've got different things that they've got here, different sign markers explaining the actions and stuff. Like in here, you've got the map around Atlanta where different engagements happen, and you can see how the Union line moves to the left and down, trying to move south of Atlanta, cutting off the Confederate supply lines. Let's see, even further south at Lovejoy Station. I'm going to come back and get these pictures of these things later. But this park has a really good set of interpretive maps. So basically what you can tell here is the site as it is currently. Let's see, let's go here. This one will tell you how the Confederate forces come through. You can see where the Union positions are.
Like, what kind of person would do that? Kind of.
Yeah.
And in part of the battles involved a pursuit for Joseph Wheeler after the initial defeat of the Union forces. You can see that from Lovejoy Station, Joseph Wheeler pushed the retreating Union forces all the way back to the town of Noonan. What's nice on this is that you also get a timeline here of the different events. McCook reaches Noonan. Wheeler arrives at Noonan about noon. This is really a nice part with a lot good interpretive markers here. So. And the ride for the river, yeah. The park site actually has several videos of several different key points of this battle. You had different reinforcements. Robert Anderson came in with another 400 Confederate cavalrymen. This was a really big cavalry battle that you had. You had dismounted cavalry, you had, which are basically cavalry members. They don't have horses, they fight on foot. So then, of course, one of the things in town that they also mentioned about the aftermath, in town houses being used as hospitals. Oh, hey, Yang, thank you. Good to see you. How are you doing today? So in Noonan, the hospitals treated the wounded on both sides. There are only about 100, I think, at the Union there. So, but like every other civilian area, it became the hospitals and care of the wounded for both sides. So, and actually in this case, where a lot of the Union were buried on the battlefield, they were actually, I think in 1867, were disinterred, and they were reburied at the National Cemetery in Marietta, Georgia. So, and we will proceed to keep walking. Yes, you're cold, Ang. I know. Well, y'all got the car keys. Y'all got the car keys. Y'all can get in the car. So I'm going to keep going on this and see how we're doing. We got two people here with us. Stunning. Oi, how are ya? We get a little bonus Civil War this morning. Yeah, we found a new battlefield by surprise, and I'm going to check it out a little bit. There's actually a monument with it. I'm thinking back there was a lot of what we're going to see of the signs of the information of the battle. So I'll read as I'll try to read and not fall. After 3 years, this is from American Civil War 101. 3 years of Civil War, the Union cavalry remained inferior to the Confederates in every respect but weapons, and that's true, folks. A lot of Confederates were armed with shotguns and pistols and stuff. Not nearly the type of weaponry the Union cavalry had, but still, in so many battles, were able to defeat better equipped Union forces. So, and it was really important in this Atlanta campaign operations between Dalton and Chattahoochee River. The Union cavalry lost every major engagement, which, as I said earlier, led Major General William T. Sherman to basically use them as substitute infantry. You know, and that's not the purpose of your cavalry. Your cavalry is supposed to be your shock troops, your hard-hitting forces that pursue the enemy. So there's a blue marker. All right. Let me double check. Let me make sure I'm going the right way. The red trail to the left. Oh. The red trail that way. So we're going to stay on blue. All right. So basically, you know, so we see that Sherman did not care for his cavalry's performance. He tried to use them here to cut the rail lines and supply south of the city. And the way, we talk more about how the battle went, you can see once again they were called on, and once again they failed. The main effect of this was that it forced Sherman into a siege operation of Atlanta, which was what he was trying to avoid. Because if you know anything about sieges in history, they take time, supplies, and, you know, especially if you're wanting to get, especially if you want to get the war over, sieges just waste time. But I did more work on the comic last night. That's awesome, Stunning. Great to hear. Really can't wait to see how that goes. So, So instead of the missus today, you get me for a little bit. They're back there chatting and having fun talking, and that's why I'm coming down this way. 27th Brigadier General entered to compel the Confederates to and destroy the last remaining railroad supplying General Hood's army. As you saw back on the sign we had back there, there was an indicator of Lovejoy Station, which was south of here. Thank you for hitting that like button, whoever. Feel free, share it out, tweet it out. Make sure you hit that like button, but thanks for being here today. Looking at a little bit of history. I'm taking a live video now because I hope to maybe get some more pictures and maybe talk more about this a little more organized, a little more in depth in a regular stream soon. Masters, how are you, sir? Good to see you. 6 of y'all now. We are at Browns Mill Battlefield up near Atlanta. It's a site of on July 27, 1864, of a cavalry clash between Union and Confederate forces, which became a very significant battle, as I was mentioning earlier, because Union General William Tecumseh Sherman wanted to cut the city off and force a main battle, or force the evacuation of the city. However, the Confederate victory here stopped that and forced him to go into siege operations again. Looking for some dad man for your morning routine. All right, well, that's cool. Well, like I said, the missus is off and talking and having some fun right now, leaving me to do the work today, and I do not mind. I'm in my natural habitat, which is a Civil War battlefield. And folks, you can see the terrain, that the natural terrain, you know, these are not dug out. This is just water runoffs, cliffs, crevices, ravines. Imagine bringing horses through here. Probably need the horses to get through here. Because, you know, we're up in somewhat mountainous territory, not really the flat of a lot of the areas we've seen before on some of these tours. So now, Sherman also authorized Stoneman that after this battle, to be able to march further south and release more than 30,000 Union prisoners at Macon and Andersonville, but only after the railroad station at Lovejoy had been cut. Now, I did not know if y'all were with us last year on our driving tour, or if you've seen me talk about Andersonville, but Andersonville is the very infamous Southern prisoner of war camp that was famous for its, infamous for its subhuman conditions, dirty water, death, illness, just massive, horrendous conditions. And so many thousands of men stuck in an area in the open conditions. If you saw how big the area was, just shocking that many people could be stuck in one place to have to live, including with all their bodily functions and stuff. Cook, eat, everything else in the same area. Oh, didn't recognize it would detour and got worried not finding anything, but they're in the woods. Yes. Well, the missus planned on taking the day off. We were visiting someone today, and so she was taking the day off, not streaming. Well, they're visiting, and I'm point number 32 on the map. Yay. So, you know, they're chatting, Aang's hanging out, and I'm walking the battlefield because, you know, this is what I like to do. So, but yeah, this was originally this was supposed to have a bigger goal, which is to free Union, probably like, I can't remember the numbers, like tens of thousands of prisoners down at Andersonville. You can look it up, find more on how that was horrible. Andersonville also is now the site of the National POW Memorial. So, and yeah, we are in the mountains. We got a nice incline right now. yeah, like I said, we're in the mountains, so we are going to have times of disconnecting and reconnecting. So we're trying to find the one monument on this battlefield. So basically, McCook's men crossed the river. Early on the 29th, they reached Lovejoy, part of his mission. Instead of General Stoneman, instead of staying with the plan, which was destroy the station first, he decided to ride on down to Macon on the prisoner of war stuff first. So basically, he left one brigade to cover the move. So that afternoon, when Stoneman failed to appear, McCook began retracing his steps towards the Chattahoochee River. So at that point, we got about, let's see, about 60. McCook had 2,400 men. I think they're probably around about 7,000 men total between the two. Yeah, Stoneman had 6,500. McCook had 3,500, about 10,000 combined. But they're split off. That left Major General Joseph Wheeler. That's a very famous name in Civil War history, especially for cavalry. And he actually served in the Spanish-American War also. Took 10,000 troops, cavalry troops, was able to isolate the 3 Union columns and deal with them one at a time. On the 28th, they routed Garrard's division. On the 29th, they captured Stoneman and 700 of his men near Macon. And the 30th, they scattered McCook's command. So, see, Stoneman went off on his own and got captured. So, altogether, the Union Raiders lost more than 2,000 men and failed in their mission. So it became one of the greatest cavalry victories of the war. And, you know, like I said, it was a hard-riding Confederate cavalry under Wheeler covering so much ground over those days. And hello, DJ Play Nice. How are you today? Good to see all of y'all here today with us. Won't be too long of a stream. There's not a lot on this battlefield, but this is the terrain where all this happened. It has some videos. State Park does. But we saw some informational signs earlier. Looks like another informational sign that's coming up here. And then we'll be off to other things later. I think we're getting close to where the monument is, because there's the side. We thought this was going to be a more developed park, but it really is a trail specific place. There's not an interpretive center, there's not a visitor center, but there's obviously there's enough here. Here's the marker. As we'll see over here, it's a beautiful place for trails if you like to come walk. It's just a bit south of Atlanta, but hey, we are on the Blue Trail. We're not planning on walking the whole Blue Trail. We're probably going to turn around and go back, because we came for the monument, and that's what we're going to do. Because there's only one monument here. It does not say anything about other interpretive signs around, so I'm using AmericanCivilWar101.com as a guide for the information that I'm presenting to you about the battle. Oh, wow. It's an in memoriam. There's your officers. This is specifically about the McCooks. Let's see. Trying to get all this. Okay, just trying to get this. What it reads is, on June 17, 1908, a small group of ladies from Chapter 599 of the United Daughters of the Confederacy gathered at this place with a few Confederate veterans to dedicate a monument to, quote, the only battle of the Civil War fought in Coweta County. Miss Catherine Wright Gibson, who suggested the idea, shoveled the first spade of dirt into the hole dug to set up a simple 4-foot marble shaft with the inscription. And then we'll see that in just a second. General Joseph Wheeler, CSA, routed General E.M. McCook, USA, July 27, 1864, captured 900 of his men, Noonan Chapter UDC. Among those was Tom Carpenter, an eyewitness to the battle. He had grown up just down the LaGrange Road in a single-story clapboard house, which still showed signs of fighting on that hot July afternoon when he was 13 years old. So basically, the monument accurately marked the spot where Wheeler's cavalry had ambushed Torrey's brigade, but he dated the battle incorrectly. The error was remedied when the shaft suffered significant damage sometime after 1910. Required the Carpenter farm to deed them enough land for $1 to double the size of the monument lot. After erecting an iron fence anchored by 4 granite posts, the UDC dedicated a new and larger marble marker on July 24, 1912, which read, General Joseph Wheeler, CSA, routed General E.M. McCook, USA, July 30th, 1864, capturing 500 of his men, Union Chapter UDC, 1908. This new monument corrected the date of the Battle of Brown's Mill, but it seriously undercounted the number of prisoners taken. Wheeler actually captured about 13 of McCook's men, crippling Sherman's cavalry and changing the course of the Atlanta campaign. I only skipped a little bit of it. How was that, DJ Play Nice? Or do I need to read it again? I did skip one little spot in the middle where it said for $5, Carpenter had sold the UDC the 5-foot square parcel of land where the monument stood. After the dedication, he invited the land several bullets to skull. He said and hurled a string of invectives at the thief. Carpenter claimed he never heard such cussing in all his life before or since. The man who made the lumberman shot in his left young at the beginning of Brown's Mill. Torrey was later taken to Noonan's Buckner Hospital, where he died on August 2, 1864. So, in the monument, we're going to see, okay, cool, great, all right, cool. Just want to make sure I'd read it clearly. Like I said, I'm going to try to get pictures of this. I'll probably try to do another full, I need to get back to my history and stuff, get the pictures and talk about this in a more organized fashion. So, the Spanish explanation, no, can't do that. Although that's better than if I tried in German. Now, what's interesting with this, it did mention those that were killed or mortally wounded for the Union under McCook's command. You notice that there was a Tennessee cavalry unit, but don't forget that you had them both ways. You had southern units in the north, you had northern units in the south. Not as many, but the border states. See, we got Kentucky cavalry, we got Tennessee cavalry that fought for the Union. But this lists all of those that were killed or mortally wounded there. And then over in the Confederate side, they had half the casualties, but it lists those that are cavalry or even infantry that were killed or mortally wounded here in those actions. So, yeah, the family's going to love it when I get back and say I got to get back down here and take a picture. But that won't be bad. I won't have to walk back down because we'll be able to park. The road is right there. So this is the monument that they were just mentioning here. We'll see. This one, I think it was 1917 or 1908. It says General J.O.S. Remember, J and O was a use for John. I mean, they had different kind of shorthand for names. General Joseph Wheeler, CSA, routed General E.M. McCook, USA, July 30, 1864, capturing 500 of his men, Noonan Chapter UDC, 1908. So that's the new marker when this had been damaged. And like the sign said, it misreported the number of casualties, but got the date right. After this, the Confederates pursued the Union west of Lovejoy. We're near the Lower Fayetteville Road, so McCook was pursued by Wheeler and several hundred Confederate horsemen who had ridden south from Decatur. So sleepless and exhausted, McCook's advance guard approached Noonan early on July 30 to find a trainload of Confederate soldiers blocking the road ahead. The train carried General Philip D. Roddy and 550 dismounted Alabama cavalrymen who had stopped at the night due to the damage the raiders had done to the tracks earlier. So they had posted pickets, and the pickets raised the alarm. In the battle that ensued, different Confederate reinforcements came in during the day to turn the tide really against McCook. And the article goes that believing he was completely surrounded by an overwhelming force, McCook lost his nerve. "What shall we do? What shall we do?" he cried as men dismounted to fight on foot. And he turned to a colonel and said, "Take command and do as best as you can." Then another 400 Confederate cavalrymen under General Robert H. Anderson arrived. They went into the fight, and Roddy marched up with another 1,000 dismounted cavalrymen. It includes some from the hospital, actually. Now, by late afternoon, 2 of McCook's brigade commanders were missing in action, and they were running out of ammo. So they, he said he was going to surrender, and one of his colonels said, "You can surrender and be damned. I'm going out with my regiment." So basically, several of the regiments rode their way out, leaving one Iowa unit behind to fight as a rear guard action that ultimately surrendered when they were completely surrounded. And the action continued. So the fighting at Brown's Mill cost McCook about 100 killed and wounded, while Wheeler's casualties numbered less than 50. But many were in Union hospitals. The nearby hospitals treated the injured Confederate and Union soldiers. So, and as I said earlier, 3 years later, in 1867, the U.S. government removed the remains of Union soldiers from the Brown's Mill battlefield in Oak Hill for reburial at the Marietta National Cemetery. And this may seem like not much of a battle. It's a little thing, about 10,000 troops, 20,000 between both sides. But this battle was significant for one thing specific, as we mentioned earlier. Sherman went to cut off Atlanta to force the surrender of the city, to force a big battle. But by cutting off the train supply, the last remaining one that the South had to supply Atlanta. That was the objective of this. But as we saw, Scope Creek happened. The Confederates had a major victory here, which then forced Sherman to give up on his plan of a direct fight and set in for siege operations, which would be long and costly, which is what he was trying not to do. And of course, like I said earlier too, he had begun to distrust his cavalry, not looking at them as an effective fighting force. But you can see with the Confederate performance, you can move fast with cavalry, and they come in as they're the precursors of tanks in a way. And they can move fast and they hit hard. They're also your eyes and ears in enemy territory. But we see again how the Confederate cavalry outclassed Union cavalry, but except for the weaponry. But we can see when you get competent commanders like Phil Sheridan in the East, and who actually moves into the Shenandoah later, and other commanders late in the war for the Union cavalry. You get the right commanders with the right tools, then it evens itself out. DJ Playdine said, "My great-grandfather was a Union cavalry soldier for Wisconsin. He was mustered out of St. Louis." Oh, interesting. Hey, morning, Meadowland. How are you today? Good to see you. And yes, troop movement was so key for this battle. Well, I'm going to start to work my way back, because this is just a loop around. I think all of the real sign markers are back at the beginning where I showed you. So I'm gonna walk back to the others and go as we're talking. Let's talk. You know, you have any input? How's your day going? Anything about Civil War? Like you said, DJ Playhouse, troop movement was key to this battle. It was key in so many battles, and we can see why Sherman wanted to take out that rail line. If you were with us over in Corinth by Shiloh last year, we could see how two railroads come through in a key juncture. Also in Arkansas, that was a road route that went west. Roads and trails and especially railroads were very key to movement. For instance, the first Battle of Manassas, Bull Run. That was a case where the Union advanced slowly, but by taking the time they did, Joseph E. Johnston was able to move thousands of men from the Shenandoah via rail car to get to Manassas in time to prop up the Confederate lines and add additional troops that helped turn the tide of battle on that first day. So, which again, you can see why Sherman wanted to cut off this railroad. You cut off, it's like at Vicksburg, cut the Confederacy in half, cut the supply routes, starve it out. You know, cut the east off from Texas and the cattle and stuff that it could provide. Same thing with railroads. You can move troops. You can also, hey, forget moving troops. You feed your troops. You can have all the troops you want, but when they're starving and not supplied, it becomes hard to fight. So, yeah, probably breathing heavy. Air's thin today. It's very chilly today. I am actually wearing a jacket, if you can believe it. Still in shorts, but oh good. Just beautiful terrain up in here. There's so many battlefields up near in the Atlanta area. You'd spend, I don't know, you'd have to spend 2 weeks, I think, to do it right. But like I said, this is a surprise battlefield that we learned about, and really doesn't have a lot marked like on spots of where stuff happened or this or that. But the terrain looks real. You can tell a lot. I mean, a lot of up and down, a lot of hills, but you know, has enough markings to know where the battle happened. Where, because that spot was with the monument was where Wheeler's forces first hit Torrey's units back there. So persistence possible for the Union based on the numbers. Yeah. Supposed to snow there today. Yeah. Well, trying to get some work done early. So, hey, that's something when you're hitting the road early, dude. I got you. Don't play with it. Our travel plans are kind of up in the air for tomorrow. So we're kind of watching stuff with where we are. Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, I won't complain about 40s right now, okay? We might be down to where it's 15 one night, but hey, trying to get back to the persistence was possible for the Union to do their numbers. I believe so, very much so. But I will tell you, the greatest thing, the greatest example of that is the debate about not Sherman. I wish Snortopupus was here. I really wish Snortopupus was here because this general this Grant because in the East, you the first year they're battle all they would never when they did this shot to the but he fights because when you see when he was in charge in the East, Cold Harbor, Wilderness, so many different battles or wins or losses, he kept the pressure on Lee. He kept the pressure on the Army of Northern Virginia. He kept pushing and fighting. You got that recognition, the persistence. And back to Lincoln's quote, I can't, because people wanted, Grant finally found the right general that would not just back off. He kept the pressure on the enemy, you know, that persistence, wearing them down, pushing them back. So that's all here, but in the war overall is on the whole. Been about 45 minutes. I'm going to work back up to the parking lot and probably go ahead and sign off there. Get some pictures of those signboards that we had, and you know, go from there. Go on for the rest of the day. We got a lot of cool stuff planned today. We found a toy store with some really cool stuff. Plenty of dinosaurs, some Transformers, even a Spider-Man outfit standing inside the store. Yeah, take care. Yeah, it's the terrain, it's the trees, it's where I'm at. Oh gosh, yeah, walk an extra mile. Hey, we got 4 likes. Ugh. Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to stream in there though, Masters. I will do my best to take pictures at least for later. You will love it, Studying will love it, I know. All right. Well, we were back up to the hey, thanks, Mandalorian, for the like. Again, for the extra. Thank you, appreciate it. I'm getting back up to the main parking lot. So all right. All right, folks. Hey, B from O. I will see what I can find out with there. Hey, good to see you too. Yeah, I'll see what we can get. They open at 11, so it'll be a little while. But thanks everybody for being here. I'm going to grab some more pictures of this. Hope to talk about it later. And you guys have a great day. Catch you later. Bye.